Hi, this is Poor Richard's video. I have 64 years experience, and I want to tell you right now that we're in a beautiful fall plumage, and the stock market is beautiful. It's going up, and it's crazy. And all of a sudden, you're going to find a gentle breeze coming, and the leaves are going to start coming in, and the leaves start falling faster, and then we become big, and then the weather turns cold, and you're freezing. Ugh. It's like you were an Eskimo, an aging Eskimo who's put out in a canoe, and an iceberg, float. No one sees what happens to them. Because this is what the stock market's going to be like. We're in a giant bubble, and everybody is not afraid. You see, I was born in 1935, and I've had an education, and I know what it was like in the 30s, and the 40s, and the 20s. And it's shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. And this is the 3rd generation right now. And no one believes anybody that can happen in like the generation of the 20s and the 30s. They said, we've taken care of that because we have what you call circuit breakers. And that circuit breaker works if the market drops 15%, and then they close it up and all that. You tell what the circuit breakers are to the Hunt brothers when they went bankrupt in silver. So I'll tell you one right now. In the 20s, late 20s, they had low margin, and the banks could control of the speculators, of the individuals. And they were on Donnybrook. People bought stock. They could buy a home and all that stuff. And I remember talking to a guy who was selling Chryslers, automobiles in a showroom. And he was telling me he was on the floor. He was on the floor during the crash. And he would buy Chrysler in the morning and sell it in the afternoon. And he made a fortune. He made a fortune. And everything was going great. And then one Friday morning, he loaded on his Chrysler. And then the manufacturings came out. Railroad freight car loadings. And they had been running around 60% or something like that. And it dropped down to some horrible figure like 35, 40. And all of a sudden, everybody realized the game was over. And oh boy, everybody started selling. And he was on 10% margin. And he was wiped out before H4L. And anyway, that's what happens. So then people get scared. They try to sell, and they find out their stocks had no bid. So we're in a big bubble. And 2010, they passed the Dodd-Frank Act, which is a boondoggle for the Bacchanalian party for the Las Vegas, as they went to all the congressmen, all that. They got all these pet things going. Made was illegal, legal. All right, there, right. So, and then coupled with that, the Glass-Steagall Act had been canceled in 1999. And the Glass-Steagall Act, it took about 44 years for Congress to work out. And it wasn't until the Great Depression that the banks and everybody caved in, and they passed it in 1935. And Sandy Wheel got it canceled in 1999, so we could merge First National City into a bank. And so that was illegal at the time, but he made it legal. And that was the end. That took the cap off the banks. Sandy Wheel now says, sorry, he passed it. But anyway, after he made $1 billion, everybody gets sorry after they made $1 billion. Went the wrong way. So the stock market is a casino, playing lottery. All right. The banks are doing in a Powerball, and you can't win in that one either. The only person that makes money in a derivative action is the issuer. And that's the Powerball. Derivatives of the Powerball. And the derivatives have been spread all over the world. And every treasurer and bond sales, no one's worth has come up with a derivative transaction. And they do it. I'll tell you how derivatives work. You take a real gold bond, tilted investment, and then you mark it up, or you combine it with a piece of trash or something that's illiquid. And a perfect example would be your high school bond issue. And it was a small issue, and it's not worth them a lot of money right now, not very marketable. And so they combine that with a treasury business or something really good. And they do that all together, and they combine it, and they mark that high school bond way up, so that it's very profitable. And then they wiggle it around and everything, and they sell it to bond. And then so the yield looks really good to the buyer, but it doesn't know what's underneath. Or he thinks he got it, Anyway, so they spread it all over the world. Then all of a sudden, your high school goes bankrupt because there's a pandemic. All right? And then all of a sudden, and then those things get sold back and forth and all over, broken up, and it's spread all over the world. No one knows where it is. And all of a sudden, the holder, you might be the holder, all right? Don't worry about it. All of a sudden, you find out you're not getting paid. And then the thing hits the fan, okay? And that's how it starts. And it might start in two or somewhere else in the Middle East and all that. And all of a sudden, margin calls go out on a local bank, and you're wiped out because you don't know what. You wake up in the morning and you're worthless, and you try to sell, and you can't because the market's closed. All right. That's what you face today because these pros, they think they got all the answers. And just think when a volcano or an earthquake comes. They don't have any problem for that. All right. So you're up the creek. So what you got to do right now is you got to take all your assets and all your expenses and cut your expenses and save some money and keep what you think is really good and build up some cash, hold some gold, hold a lot of silver coins, current silver coins, and you'll be able to make it okay through this thing because it might just last a couple of years or it might last 4 or 5. You're not wrong. But anyway, you're prepared and you don't, you can take care of your family and your home and all that. You got to be prepared now. And that's what you do. But you got to have the cash available because when things happen, you'll have some, when things go down, bottom out, you want to have the cash like Joe Kennedy had at the bottom of the market. All right. He made a fortune. And we can do well, but you got to have the cash now. All right. So that's why my message to you. And there you go. Cheerio. Thank you for listening and viewing.